Okay, so this is the model, the helmet. I've already gone and deleted everything from the scene except for what I want to print. And this is what's left. So there's two parts to the helmet. They also come with armatures tied to them. I just got rid of them. I'm gonna hide that for a bit, and we're only gonna work on this one. And so I figured out that if I go into tab, edit mode, and then I look at some vertices here closely, you can see they're not even all connected. So that's what's causing the edge splits, I guess, when you subdivide it. And the way you fix that is by just going to top view, or just any view. Just selecting everything when in transparent mode, which is this one right here. And then you go to mesh, clean up, and merge by distance, and that'll get rid of 561 vertices for this one. That means it just kind of like averaged everything out. So now there's a vertex back here that moves everything. That's just an example. And I did that. Now I'm gonna add a subdivision, make it ×2, and make it simple. I also went ahead and went into cycles and experimental just so I can get the adaptive. I'm in Blender 2.8.1. Not the latest one, just 2.8.1. I don't know if they've done this or if they've added the adaptive already in any other version, but that's how I'm doing it right now. Now I'm just going to apply this. As you can see, it already applied all the subdivisions and vertices and whatnot. We're just going to go ahead and add another subdivision, and then just add a displacement. It's going to look all wonky. For the subdivision, I'm going to make it ×3. But I'm going to leave it as the first option here. Just because now if I subdivide it, it'll just smooth out the last subdivision that we made, instead of kind of averaging out and rounding out some edges that we don't want. I'm just going to close this up really quick and then add a texture here. And go into the settings for that texture, open. I'm going to open the diffuse. I know you could just use normal. Either one, I think they all have a certain level of details. Usually you want the normal or the G-stack. The G-stack has tinier details, I think. I'm not entirely sure what it even means, but it worked with either of them in different ways for some reason, so I just played around with that. And now in the texture coordinate, back in the modifiers tab, I'm going to make that UV. Every model in the Destiny model rips is already UV unwrapped, so just use the first one, which is one I used, I guess. Like I said, everything I'm doing in here is just how I managed to fix this. Now in the strength, I dropped that way down to 0.03. I played around between 0.015 and 0.03, and that managed to kind of work for me at least. So that's basically it. You could just go around here and choose different options. This is the normal maps. I tried G-stacks earlier and that one also worked pretty good. I'm just gonna see if I can refresh this really quick by switching up to the second UV. This one doesn't really do anything, but if I save it on UV 0, it kind of adds a little bit more detail. It kind of refreshes it, I guess. So this is the G-stack. Now I think the diffuse had, I'm sorry for my dogs in the background, by the way. The diffuse had less details. It was kind of smoother, but it still had like these ridges back here and these details. And I think I like that one the best. I think that's the one I used for the last one that I sent. Let's just put this back on. Yeah, so this one is a little bit cleaner near the lenses here, and the back as well. So I'd say just go with diffuse. That should work out the best. And the way you just apply this is first you apply the subdivision, and then you apply the displacement. And now you can see if I select it and go into tab edit mode, then it'll just start loading all the small vertices. So there's like way too much geometry here, and that might give the slicer a hard time. But like I said, that's just kind of how I've been able to do it so far. I don't really know too much about like some in-depth settings for Blender to fix this or anything, but that's just how I've done it. I just did the same thing for the face mask, and that's it.